or whether you're an employer, teacher, teacher trainer, or an employee, there is legislation which will affect your role. So let's start with health and safety, for example. So the Health and Safety at Work Act. So all employers, employees, subcontractors, and any third parties have a responsibility to ensure everyone is safe. So this could be in the classroom. So maybe you're on the level 3 award in education training, or simply a site manager providing induction training for your team. You need to ensure that you have the correct policies in place and you've conducted your risk assessments to whom can be harmed or injured, and put in effective control measures to ensure that a task or activity is safe. So when I train the trainers, it's me checking that the measures we have in place in the classrooms that we teach comply with the HSC regulations, and it's employees' responsibility or learners' responsibility to follow these procedures and ensure they conduct themselves safely, ensure they don't do anything stupid which may cause injury to themselves or others. What tends to happen is people at the back of the class, they rock their chairs, and what happens? One of them will fall down, and who's responsible? It's actually you as the teacher to deal with it. Then we've got another factor, which is the data protection or the GDPR. So we generally don't cover the GDPR in the level 3 education training in a great deal, but the idea in the classroom or within the workplace is that we have to make provisions for processing personal data, which is anything that could identify any individual's identity with potential dates. So we need to get permission first. So trainers need permissions to register learners on qualifications, and employers need permissions to register the person on the payroll. So due to some people having poor intentions, it's critical in education and training and workplaces that we protect the person from having their personal details stolen. The Equality Act is an interesting law. So its purpose is not just about being equal, it's more about being fair. So in the level 3 award in education and training, or any teacher training course, we use the terms reasonable adjustments. And this is ensuring that everyone can reasonably make adjustments to their learning regardless of any protected characteristics. And in fact, they are not penalized based on these protected characteristics. So a simple mistake employers and training providers make is excluding individuals from resources. So this might simply be overlooking some cultures from training materials. So within the classroom, gender is often the problem. So boys and girls, men and women, there are so many differences in the way that males and females are raised that by the time they start education, it's actually very difficult for teachers to treat them equally and overcome the gender stereotypes that have always been taught. It's always suggested that ladies will be behaving better in the classroom and boys are generally the ones that play up, which is not the case. We have to treat everyone equally. Then lastly, in the level 3 award in education training, we talk about safeguarding, whether that is children or vulnerable adults, which equally applies to employment. So this is simply ensuring that teacher trainers or any employee in any organization takes measures to protect vulnerable individuals. The most recognized form of safeguarding is having an enhanced DBS, which states the person is trustworthy. And the idea is that you are responsible for keeping individuals safe and free from abuse. So in this instance, if your business works with vulnerable individuals, then you need to have a designated teacher or member of staff responsible for dealing with safeguarding. You need clear procedures to follow if staff are concerned about a child, and for checking staff before they work with children, and staff who are trained to identify the signs and abuse of other safeguarding issues, including what to do if they or somebody else is worried about a child or the vulnerable adult.